as I grew older, I realized how painting just took me away from it all, and it was my solitude. If you were uptight and you know how you get worried about things and your job and this and that, but when I would paint, all that went away because it was just me and the canvas, and you know, real relaxed, and it was really fulfilling that way for me. I started painting on some old windows, some old window frames, and the glass is old glass. The texture that I used here was out of a spray can, textured paint, and I just took it and sprayed it up on it and made it look like dust. This picture is a picture of my daughter. This is a request that she wanted, and she's a beautician, and she wanted, there was a advertisement in a magazine for hair care products, and there was a woman that had all this hair, and it was kind of jet setty, and she wanted a picture of herself with long hair. So I took that picture and put that hair on my daughter's face. I always like to do hands. Hands are really hard to draw, and they're hard to paint, but I've always liked doing hands. And this is it's a cowboy. And if you, I don't know if you can see it, but his nail is cracked, and his hands are just worn from being a cowpoke. I have gone through spurts of times where I haven't, you know, that I haven't painted at all, and for one reason or another, and then gone back to it and just pick it right back up like it was yesterday that I painted. And I was always afraid after going so long without painting if I could paint again. But when I would sit down to the canvas, I would just be in a different world and mix my colors and start painting, and it was like magic, because I guess I didn't have enough self-confidence that I could pick it back up and do it again. And it took a while for me to realize that that God really gave me this gift, and you know, I paint because of Him, because he gave it to me. Gave it to me at an early age when I didn't know anything. And sorry. This is the only request my son has ever made to me to paint, and he wanted a fish. He wanted a wide-mouthed bass, and I thought, oh, paint a fish? You know, I just didn't think I could. Well, I didn't want to paint a fish is probably what the problem was. A photograph of a fish, and I don't remember what magazine it was in, but the original, the picture did have a lure coming down for the fish to come up, and I didn't put the lure in it. My son still wants the lure, but I don't think he's going to get it. It's Coca-Cola Cowboy. To get this red on the background and to have this white Coca-Cola sign, I had to put rubber cement glue all on the writing, and then paint the red, and then rub the glue off so that it would be white. This was from a photograph. My daughter asked me to do this for her husband, and he started out working for AT&T, not right out of high school. He went to college and then went to AT&T, and he was a lineman. And Kelly just happened to be on the job and had her camera and took this picture of Steve. And she asked me to paint it. And it was supposed to be a surprise, and I didn't really understand all the gear that was on here. And so one day he had his gear just laying in the garage, and I observed it very closely so that I could get it as authentic as I could, because it was really hard to tell what it looked like from the small photograph. But Steve said he really did appreciate that picture because it made his butt look small. He said I did him a favor. I am losing my eyesight, and but I didn't really think that I could paint because of my eyesight, because I'm losing my central vision. So I just kind of hung up the painting and visited a friend in Kilgore that I hadn't seen in a long time. She asked me about my painting, and I told her, you know, about my eyesight and everything. I just hadn't tried. And she said, well, it's a shame, she says, for as well as you can paint, for you not to paint and not to try. And so I promised her that I would try again. Several people that I know some art galleries that are close to here, Argyle, and I think there's one in Denton. But I'm just really not interested in painting and selling. I don't know. It's kind of a pressure thing to do that, and I just really. It's hard to put a price on what you do, and it's really hard for me to price my work. And I had rather give it away than sell it for a dime. I get more pleasure in giving than I do in selling. And then there's not any pressure there either, because it's kind of like coming from the heart. And it's like the painting is a therapy for me. It's like I say, it takes me to another place, but it's really hard for me to paint and not have a mission or a goal to paint for. I could go in there and I could just paint and stack the canvases up and never hang them anywhere, just for the therapy. But I don't get the therapy out of it if there's not a mission for it. And so there has to be some inspiration there to for that painting to go somewhere, and that makes it all worth the while.